Hello there, internet bikers. Welcome to this very first ride video about the Royal Enfield Hunter 350. As you can see, I have one. It's brand new. It has 50 kilometers on it, which is just about as much as I needed to get it from the dealer home, and then from home to here, which is a pretty nice place, very close to the mountains in Madrid. And the reason we're gonna start this here is because this is where we have a really great road that all bikers in the area really know about and that they love. So I'm gonna record that to get the first impressions on how the Royal Enfield Hunter 350 feels like in twisty roads. All right, so let's get on it, and let's not waste any more time. Alright, so as we ride, I'm gonna say a few things that were told to me in the dealership. First thing is, you need to break in the motorcycle. How do you break in a Royal Enfield 350? According to the dealership, what I have to do is I have to ride the first 500 to 1,000 kilometers, which is about the first 500 miles, 400 miles, something like that. I have to ride it soft. That doesn't mean I have to go slow. It just means that I cannot accelerate hard, right? It has to be progressive. And the other thing is the gear shift. When you are gear shifting, you have to press the clutch all the way down, right? Every time you gear shift, press the clutch all the way down and then gear shift to make sure that everything is completely oiled or something like that, is what I was told. So that is how you break in a Royal Enfield 350. So that's what I'm doing. I'm not going especially fast, but I'm not going slow either. I'm just doing, you know, regular speeds, and I just have to make sure that when I change gears that I do it with no rush, right? Don't push it. Don't try to be too quick to gear shift. It's just about not being too quick when you gear shift. You know, just take your time and then change gears. That's it. That's all you need to do to break in a Royal Enfield 350. And another important thing that I was told when breaking in the motorcycle is make sure you use the full RPM range. Previously, I mean many years ago, you were always told when you were going to break in a motorcycle to never go past a set number of RPMs. Not this time. This time I was told use the whole range, but make sure you do it gradually. Like, don't accelerate harsh, you know, just make sure you use the full range. Make sure that when you're in fourth gear you go all the way to the top before you change to fifth gear, and when you do, you know, do it slowly. That's it. That's how you're breaking a Royal Enfield 350. At least that's what I was told. If anyone was told differently, please let me know. I think it's important to do these comparisons to make sure that that we do things properly, right? All right, so this is the first coffee break area. I don't know if I'm gonna stop, but I'm gonna, at the very least, gonna come in. All right, I want to show you guys. This is very much of biker hangout here in Madrid. Early in the morning it gets a lot more crowded, and basically the full parking lot is littered with bikes. That's not what's happening right now because it's already lunchtime, so it's not gonna happen at this time. But hey, it's cool. Let's stop, continue the road, and I'm gonna fix the 360 because it looks like it dropped a little bit. This is a great place to figure out what the top speed here is. Okay, I don't know about you guys, but for me that's almost 130 kilometers per hour, but not quite. So that's equivalent to almost 80 miles per hour. I'm gonna say 75, right? Maybe for me that's the top speed currently. Let's remember that we're just breaking it in, so it might get better. Maybe a few thousand kilometers from now it might get better, but for now that's the top speed. We'll test it again some other time and see if it changes or not. And that was slightly downhill, so I was expecting a little bit more. The test bike that I tried, it gave me 130 plus, so I'm thinking it's just about breaking it in, and then it'll be a little bit more loose, and it'll be able to maybe top that off by an extra 5k per hour. All right, let's talk about this little bike a little bit more. It's been 95 kilometers that I've had it. It's very, very recently. It still smells like new plastic. I'm not necessarily happy with that smell because it feels like it's like burnt plastic. So I'm thinking it's probably the coating of paint in some of the engine parts that still has to, you know, heat up and I guess solidify or something like that. I'm hoping that smell is gonna go away, but I think that's just temporary. Let's hope so, right? Things that I've been noticing. I think the bike is very comfortable, at least for the rider. It is very comfortable. I like the seating position. I'm happy with it. I love the seat. I think the seat is really good. But the tank is a little weird because I don't know if you can see it here, but this is a very rough edge, and when you stand up that hurts your leg, so it's not really a good bike to stand up on, because when you're gonna try to hug the fuel tank, it's not gonna feel good. Another thing that I've noticed, that it's very weird, but when I'm riding, if I'm looking at the road, if I'm looking straight, feels great. I mean, it feels perfect and it looks perfect. But if I look down to the gauge or to the headlamp, it feels a little bit off. It feels like the headlamp is a little bit twisted to this side, like that would be facing from the front to the right side. So I think that's very strange. It's just a little feeling that I have. I mean, it might be just me, but this is not a bicycle, right? You can't just you know, wiggle it until it gets into the right position. So that's just the way it is, and it's not going to change. Hopefully, I think that's something that you just get used to, because I mean, when I ride it, it doesn't bother me. It's just every now and then when I look down. Another thing that I'm noticing that I don't like are these cables over here, right? Check this out. I mean, they're like gutting out. I mean, what's the point? They could have made that a little bit better. They could have tucked them in a little bit nicer, pulled them up, maybe made them a little bit shorter. So it's a little detail, but I think that could have been better. Now, the rear view mirrors, I don't like round rear view mirrors. I mean, they don't have great visibility. I don't think a round rear view mirror is going to give you what you need to see. And on the other hand, it's probably the only thing I don't like about a single cylinder engine is that the rear view mirrors, they just vibrate so much that when you get over 80 kilometers per hour, they're almost useless. That's the only thing I don't like. So if I'm going to change something to this bike, number one is probably going to be the mirrors, and I would put something that's not round on them. Okay, now good things, because right now I've just been pointing out things that I haven't really liked, but good things. It has a lot of good things. Like I said, the seat is great. The seating position, I love it. It has a couple of really good things going on here, which are, I don't know if you can see that there's a like little indent here, and that means that's where your boot goes. Like if you put your boot here, then it just goes there. It feels great because you don't have to worry about your boot being burned off by the escape. or by the exhaust pipe. And the same goes for the passenger. I sat up as if I was the passenger, and then I realized it has the same thing. It has this protective bar right here, so you will never burn off your shoe with the exhaust system. That is neat. I like it. That was really, really well thought. Some details that I really enjoyed were, they're just decals, but they add such a nice touch to the wheel, to the rims, right? You see right here where it says Royal Enfield. That's just the decal. It looks great though. I mean, it's attention to detail, and I love that. And then there's one more thing, which are the brakes. They're a little bit rough, to be honest. I mean, they brake great, but when you are like I did here in the twisties, when you're braking a little bit hard, it feels rough because it feels like the linked system is working, and it feels like, okay, it's braking here, it's braking there, it's braking here, it's braking there, but you feel it, right? It's not smooth, so you feel it, and it's a little bit wobbly even. It's not a bad thing. I think it just the way it works, and it stops you just fine. It's just something to get used to. And the accelerator, more or less the same thing. When it's second gear and you're going slightly uphill, it's like an on-off switch, right? It's rough, right? It gets better. I mean, there's a specific like speed range when you're like going slightly uphill, maybe 30 kilometers per hour, and you need to downshift to second gear. That's where it feels like a on-off switch. But so far, that's the only issue, or not even the issue, the only small weakness that I felt. I know it's a small motorcycle, so I know it's not going to be too powerful, and I would expect that every now and then I will have to downshift to get more power in and go up the hill or pick up some speed. But so far, yeah, that's the only area in where I thought that it felt rough. But I'm enjoying it a lot. It looks great. It feels great. Let's keep going, and we'll have some final thoughts on the way home. In this last part of the video, I'm gonna talk a little bit about how I'm feeling right now on the bike. So I'm feeling great. I'm having a lot of fun, and let me explain why. Mostly it's because I'm basically riding the bike as hard as it can go. But I don't feel like I'm gonna kill myself any corner now, right? Because it can't really go that fast, so I don't feel like it's an accident risk, and at the same time I don't feel like I'm gonna get a ticket if you know, the authorities are just, you know, hiding behind the tree in the next corner with a speed gun. So that just feels great. Having a lot of fun, not feeling at risk either of accident or tickets or fines. Fun, great. Look at the Spain flag. Don't forget, this is where I am. I'm in Spain, all right? All right, so that gives me a lot of confidence to use this bike, to enjoy it, and to have fun on it. Because in the end, what is it that we want? At least, what is it that I want? I just want to have fun. I don't need to break any speed records. I just want to feel alive. I just want to enjoy the wind, enjoy the tight curves, enjoy the scenery. I mean, this is beautiful. This looks awesome. I love this area. And the bike feels great because well, I like its rumble. It rumbles really nice. I don't know, some people may not like single cylinder engines because of the way that they vibrate. I'm enjoying this one a lot. It's the very first one that I'm using long term. Previously I had I still have twin cylinder and triple. This is my first single cylinder. It just feels great. You know, I'm having a lot of fun here. This is a nice little engine and it feels awesome. Okay, one thing about the whole riding this bike in the twisty roads that I really have identified as like the sweet spot is riding in 4th gear. Like when it gets very twisty and you can basically ride everything in 4th gear, that's when I think it feels a little bit more powerful, a bit happier. When you're doing I don't know, maybe between 70 and 90 kilometers per hour, it feels fast, it feels like it's enjoying itself, and yeah, that's when it feels best. And that's when it has like a wider power band, in my opinion. It feels happier in 4th gear, running around between 70 and 90, maybe even 100 kilometers per hour. But I would say the sweet spot is 4th gear doing 80. That's the sweet spot for this bike. Keep in mind that this is my very first ride on the bike, and that this is I'm gonna have it with me for at least 5 or 6 months. So if there's anything that you would like to know about this motorcycle that I haven't covered yet, please let me know in the comments, and hopefully it'll be enough, or you guys will provide me enough comments for me to you know, have enough content for next time. And we'll talk a little bit more about the bike and how it feels and how I'm progressing with it. But of course, if you're gonna do that, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell icon so you don't forget the notifications, because otherwise you won't notice if I actually respond to one of your comments in a video, right? So make sure you do that, and I'll see you next time. Bye.